Hi, this is John French. I'm a Republican running for the town council here in Coventry, Connecticut. I want to bring some of the issues that I are really bothered by here in the town. Um, 3 and 4 years ago, I was on the town council, one of two members of the Republican Party. Again, the minority, it was a 5-2, Dems versus the Republicans. It was very hard to get anything done if you're a Republican with that kind of minority status. But anyway, one of the issues that came up was the HVAC system for the high school, which in November of 22, we all voted in favor of doing the HVAC system. The cost to do it was estimated at $11,070,000. And I made sure that we voted to protect the town that we would not spend more than that amount, and we would not do the project unless the state gave us the grant money they were promising to give us. So that was in kind of in a hold state until the state came through and said that we were going to give you, I believe it was almost $6 million in grant money. So that being said, that's great. It was proceeding forward. And then all of a sudden, the School Energy Efficiency Committee met September 28, 2023. They had the budget, they knew what the budget was, which was $11,770,000. And they ended up having prices coming in well over that amount. So the question was, well, what do we do with this if the estimates are lower than what the actual price is going to be? So at that time, we were just changing town managers. And we had hired John Elsesser to come back as kind of a shadow to help the new town manager get acquainted with everyone. So anyway, at that town meeting, the issue came up about voting on the HVAC system. And it became very apparent that the building committee had a very tough time with deciding to vote on it because it was well over the budgeted amount. It actually was closer to $12 million. And so John Elsesser, who at that point was no longer the town manager, told the building committee that we had plenty of money we'll be able to take from and be able to pay for the overages there, which in my sense of it, with the years of experience I've had, you always bring it back to the people because it's the people's money. So if you're interested in finding out whether I'm saying the truth or not about this, the School Building and Energy Efficiency Committee meeting was September 28th, 2023, and it was at 5:30 in the afternoon. So please bring that out, and you'll go to the HVAC side, and you'll see where this all occurred. So unfortunately, Mr. Elsesser had no authority to say that the money could come from there. Even if he was the town manager, he did not have the authority to take it from there. And right now, we are in the process of putting in a resolution that you're going to see on November 4th, or again, October 20th, if you do early voting, that you're going to vote on moving this money around to be able to pay for the 1.5 million more in debt that we are than the estimate was going to be. I find this to be terrible. It's not something that should be done in town finances. This should have been all approved again by the townspeople, and this was trying to be slid underneath. Again, I brought this up at the town council meeting back on September 1st, 2nd, because it was a holiday, and brought this to their attention that this wasn't the proper thing to do, and they weren't watching the finances like they should have over the past 4 years, and this was one of them. And for me, this is like a deja vu, because unfortunately, when I was town council member as well, John Elsesser took $100,000 out of the same account that there was supposedly a surplus in it, he said. And he didn't ask for authority from the town council. He was doing a study. He wanted to do a study on renovate as new for the high school. And he ended up getting away with it. I brought it up to the council, and the Democrats on the council said they didn't agree with me. They got an attorney's opinion, which happens to be a friendly attorney opinion from this town that we've had for years, that John Elsesser worked with, stating that he had the right for purchasing power. I still don't think that's correct. When you're talking dollars like that, that should have been brought to the town council to make that decision. And for some reason, John Elsesser didn't realize or still to this day, probably doesn't realize that the town council was his boss. Unfortunately, we're running through this. I'm not saying not to vote for the $1.5 million resolution because we owe that money to the contractors. But unfortunately, that money could have been spent elsewhere. It could have been used this year to help hold off some taxes. We could use it to pay down some debt service because that's where that money had been taken from, was created by debt service in a bond. So this is one of many issues. I'll be coming back with a few more, but I want to thank you for your time. Please follow up on this issue. Remember, September 28th, 2023, School Building Energy Efficiency Committee, and you will see how John led the committee to spend the money the way they did. So thank you again. Take care.